can Biden talk about cringiness?
What we have in this country right now, we have people who they're too confident for their own good, and they take the paper and they hand it and they say, "Hey, I wrote my number on the paper." You don't need to say that. I think it's cringe.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by Shannon D. Jake Davis.
That's what they call me.
Pew, pew, pew. I don't
That was
know what
good.
sound
That was
is.
good.
What did you hear that as?
I heard like a photon torpedo coming out of an
thank
X-wing.
you, dude. Yeah.
Is that what you were going for?
It was like supposed to be like an excitable sound
Sure.
of some kind.
Right.
So
I'm
that is
more
like
excited.
the alien army, like, oh, we're starting, guys, fire the
Wait, what do the
photon.
aliens talk like?
We're starting, guys, and fire the cannons.
We're doing it for the glory of the Zarklan Empire.
Jake and I are trapped in Tim Robinson voice.
I think it's Tim adjacent. It's
Yeah,
Tim adjacent.
yeah, we gotta
not
clear it with him at some point. Shannon has made the bold choice of wearing a green shirt on a green couch. She looks like she's part of the couch.
I mean, I would argue Shannon and I are on the same color
we're
palette.
matching.
Yeah.
Actually, at the
As
live
usual,
show,
I don't
we
fit in.
all were matching.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice
I
that?
too?
Yeah, you were in
you
black.
and,
I
and
was
Sarah
in black.
matched, and
we had
yeah,
on the same color green.
Yeah.
We
I'm
looked amazing.
I loved it, but I'm really excited for our live shows. In fact, I'll just plug it. You know,
Let's get
if
to
that's
it.
Great
okay.
segue.
If that's okay with everybody, because I'm doing some stand-up comedy in some places. But I want to tell you guys that me, Jake, and Shannon, and a clone of Shannon, that I am. No, why am I making that joke? Forget it.
What?
Ejecting on the joke.
The joke.
Wait, what? Jake did
the
that
hell
earlier.
just happened?
Remember at the breakfast place, you also said some nonsense word, and it was very funny.
I gave up on that. I can't remember what it was, but I remember what you're talking about. Trust us, it was
It
hilarious.
was, guys, if
So
you know,
good.
if you guys fire the photon cannons, if they had been there, they would have been down. July 14th, Phoenix. July 15th.
For more
Tucson.
gold like
Yeah.
that.
We're doing it.
For watching us describe funny moments very poorly.
With hardly a recollection.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, AITA Live. We're doing Phoenix on Friday, Tucson on Saturday. So all of you Zonas, come on out.
Arizona's. I'll be in Henderson, Nevada, June 30th, Superior, Arizona, July 1st, August 10th, Woodinville, Washington, August 11th, Salem, Oregon. Some of my good friend Tori Piskin. Shout out to Tori. But yeah, we're having the time of our lives, guys. We're actually in the desert.
Yeah, we're in Joshua. Well, 29 Palms, but Joshua Tree adjacent.
Yeah.
And we went to the park today.
We went to Joshua Tree.
the national park.
We saw the tree
park.
that they
We saw the
named it.
one.
It is
after.
just
Tree.
one tree.
One
For anyone
big one.
wondering, it's big.
Yeah.
It's big, but
No,
it's just
there's
one tree, you know?
It's just
It's a lot to put a park on.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of
know?
the park too. You got to drive all the way in.
You gotta walk
why
all the
isn't
way.
Why isn't it Joshua Trees?
Because that sounds fucking stupid.
It does.
it?
Yeah.
Joshua
Joshua Trees
Trees.
Park?
Joshua Tree sounds a lot cooler.
That's true.
No, it's a beautiful park.
Oh my
and
God, it's
I don't know
gorgeous.
how to describe a Joshua tree. I guess there's an octopusishness to
Yeah.
it.
I think there's an otherworldliness to them
Yeah,
that
they're kinda
makes
hairy,
them very
too.
they have growth on the trunks of like as they
Yeah.
grow.
Oh, what?
Yeah, as they
Hair?
grow,
Well, they're like leaves,
the hairiness that Shannon's describing is the old leaves. As the tree grows, the leaves kind of create a protective
So it's like
coating
kinda
on
I
the trunk
guess the ones I
itself.
saw were like prepubescent or whatever.
No,
but
all of them.
okay, it was a joke.
Oh,
They're not
sorry.
actually, they're trees. They don't go
took that
through
very
puberty,
seriously.
as far as I know. No, but it was cool. We got some climbing in. What
yeah.
else? I rode my one wheel around the desert. And by the way, Shannon and Jake can't get enough of my one wheel and snowboard stories.
Oh, we
They
Oh,
love
it's so
it.
fucking
We
entertaining.
love
They
it.
love it so much.
I was impressed by your one-wheeling abilities, though, until I saw you eat shit.
Finally. Oh.
And I was on the top of the mountain.
Wait, you
and I
saw
looked
Nanny
over and I
fall?
saw him eat shit. I was like, he doesn't even
did.
know. I just saw that.
Finally impressed her, God. Why?
On the flip side, I didn't want to push it on my achy breaky Yankee, so I was just kind of meandering around in the desert, and every so often I'd turn around and I'd see Shannon, full cowboy boots, just scrambling up the side of this pile of rocks.
No, she was fucking.
Yeah, she was up there.
She was fast too.
Yeah.
She blew, and she
I'm a
had
good climber.
She had you had like heels on, right? Well,
Well, cowboy boots.
Well,
Yeah,
but
but they have a little bit of a heel.
They're
Yeah.
not, that's not ideal for climbing.
That's not ideal for
rocks.
climbing. She's
Yeah.
ghosting me down the mountain. It was kind of embarrassing.
I know you
ca-
were in front of me. I'm like, okay, I got to get ahead of this guy.
and I actually called her. This is a new one, Mommy Longlegs.
Oh,
That's good.
I like
That's a good one.
Jakey, you're giving no reaction.
No,
there.
that's a good one.
You
It's
like it?
like that's solid enough that I'm just like,
Solid.
yeah, okay, yeah. It's not like whoa,
Not
I'm
award-winning.
like, okay,
that makes
sure.
you Daddy Longlegs.
I've been called that before.
I did get to fly on these guys. I called them. They looked very pretty for brunch, and I was like, "You guys are my show horses." And, and I was like, "Can I call you guys that?"
I
I like it.
I do enjoy the joke. I can't remember where the origin of it is, but somebody said, I like that when the first time somebody saw a daddy long legs, they're like, what do we call that spider? And somebody's like, long legs? And the other person's like, kinkier.
I like that. That's good. That's good. So we are in 29 Palms.
We are.
Shannon. By the way, this is another thing I'm trying to work in. Shannon. How does that feel?
Shannon.
It just got no. Jake winced at that.
I like it. I get called that.
Shannon.
Shannon.
Notices that our dear listener Oriana is actually in 29 Palms.
Yeah,
where
like
we
a mile and a
are.
half away.
And you like went on your weird long morning walk.
Yeah, I went on.
That
So
was
I
weird,
got
actually.
up, I thought earlier than you guys. So I was like, I'll go for a walk.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to record at like 10:30. So I had a
Yeah.
couple hours to kill. And right
just
as I woke
walked.
up, I looked at Instagram, and she had posted that she was at the 29 Palms market. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm going to just go to the farm. I love flea markets, farmers markets. And so I went and I walked there, and I mean, it's only a mile and a half.
Oh,
It wasn't
really?
that
Okay,
far.
I thought it seemed really far.
It wasn't that bad because I didn't drive, so I don't have a car. And I was like, I'll get a little exercise in. And we got to meet her.
She was a gem and a half. And you could
And
follow.
she sells gems and a half.
You could follow her on Instagram, Oddities by Oriana, and what largely she does is sell bone-based jewelry, decor, and
crystals too.
and crystals, etc. But there's another product she sells, which I was excited about because Jake is throwing this amazing party that I'm DJing at, and I'm so excited about it. And we've been talking about coyote mode. And
Coyote mode, baby.
Oriana actually sold coyote fur,
fur.
so I had to get that
She
to
said-
Loose,
that she would
loose
get 'em.
strands of coyote fur, to be clear, not like pelts or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
well-
she says that she gets dead roadkill or
And
something.
and this is what roadkill is dead, right? So how it works then, right, mate?
Road alive would be just an animal.
Yeah, that's just an animal. It was interesting. I was like, did you in what state did you find? And she was actually explaining that she carried the coyote to her car to take it because she takes it home to.
Oh my God.
do
Wow,
what
that's
she has to
metal.
do.
bones, and she makes
Yeah.
beautiful
So
jewelry.
she's
I
doing
bought
taxidermy, is that in a way?
kind of. Well, no, because you stuff them.
Oh well, yeah, I guess
I don't
that.
think
Yeah,
It's like
really
deconstructing them.
I guess I thought of
Taxidermy.
art out of a dead animal as taxidermy.
Yeah,
but
well, you're
I
right.
guess I
That's
can
what
see
it
that,
is,
yeah.
but I don't think that's what she cures
Right,
the bones
right,
or
right.
whatever and makes bone art.
And
It's awesome.
Jake got a great necklace.
very excited to debut.
Was yours a
that.
tooth?
Yeah, there's the bone shard. I think.
Bone.
Oh, bone shard.
Yeah,
And I got beautiful crystal earrings.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
not a lot of people know this, but crystals grow naturally in coyotes' brain areas. You
Oh,
gotta-
so perfect. I
yeah.
got some coyote too.
coyote crystals.
I don't know where that came from, but here we
Science, baby.
are. Also, we didn't talk about this, so we do got a hot tub here, which we've really been enjoying.
Oh my
And let me
gosh,
tell you
it's the
guys,
best.
as you guys know, I'm madly in love with Shannon, but wow, she gave me the ick in this hot tub.
What did I do?
Guys, it's 104. You want to put it at 103? 104? 103? Put it at 103. I'm hot. Put it at 103. Danny, not 103. 102. Danny, too hot. Too cold. You were going in on the number.
You
yeah,
were
because you
both
were trying to
you-
put it way too low.
You were both.
Jake,
finagling
please take
over
my
it.
side on
You were
something.
trying to do 97 degrees, and that's too low
You
for
were
a hot
both
tub.
too stressed out for being in a hot tub. I was kind of tuning you guys out while that was happening.
It's true, Jake. Whenever Shannon and I are fighting, Jake is our quiet son. This will end soon. I know it.
We're like two old ladies that are bickering.
Yeah. Or what?
Like bickering old ladies.
Yeah. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, we go over to the donut store. It's called the Jelly Donut. Some of you may know of a little culinary trick I use, which is if I go to a place, I always get the thing that's named after the place.
Sure.
No brainer, right?
Makes sense.
Sure.
So I go to Jelly Donut. What do I see? A raspberry donut and a blueberry donut. And I was like, hey, so like, what's your most popular donut? And the lady says,
all of them.
I'm like, okay. I'm like stuck. I'm like, I didn't realize I was dealing with this.
I was having so much fun watching this. She didn't want to give you anything. She saw you coming a mile away. It was like, not today, baby. I'm gonna watch you flounder. No, you asshole. What's the most popular thing on the menu? Everything's the most popular thing on the menu.
So then, you remember what she said about the coffee? Then I go about coffee. She goes, how do you like your coffee?
What was it? Do you like cream with your coffee or coffee with your cream?
Yeah, lady, could I just get like a more usable scale here? Like, why is it so hard?
At least they asked you. I take my coffee black, and they just put a bunch in there. I didn't care for the coffee, to be honest.
He threw it out.
Donut was great.
Well, guys, we're forgetting the most ridiculous part of this whole place. It was also a pho place.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was donuts and pho.
The Jelly Donut now with pho. What is going on?
So random.
They had full like teriyaki plates too.
Yeah.
So then we went to a Country Kitchen for breakfast, which was fantastic, and they had a little subsection of their menu like pho favorites.
Yeah,
and
like, is there a Vietnamese like population out here?
Actually, we can get into it off air. I don't want to speak to that without doing my homework, but I think I have an idea as to why.
Okay.
But it's
Coyote Crystals?
Yeah, Coyote Crystals. But no, I mean, I've really enjoyed the energy out here. I've been to the park a few times, but I haven't spent time in 29 Palms or Joshua Tree, and just like I feel like everybody kind of knows why they're living out here. It's nice, it's easy, it's breezy, it's slow.
It's beautiful.
You don't have to answer people with a straight question when they ask for recommendations on your menu. She did come through for you when you kind of circled back to raspberry blueberry, and she did definitively tell you blueberry.
She did. We gotta give her
but it took 4
there.
questions to get there.
I was gonna say I thought I heard her say blueberry one point, so I was confused about the story.
But there was a who's on first bit in that first stretch of the conversation. So I got a chocolate bar from there. It fucking ruled. That was a good chocolate bar.
No, the donut was fire.
Yeah.
The donut was fire. The other thing is then we went to some like vintage store and like, see, you guys gotta understand this is what I think this trip is really, and I'm learning this about myself too. Like I really am an introvert. Like I can turn it up for the show. I love to do it. I love to perform, but like that ain't really me. Like I'm just a little bit more subdued, not super social. And we go to the vintage store and like, just walking in, and this lady is just monologuing about horoscopes, just like, oh, rising Sagittarius, oh, they're very antsy in the winter, just fucking monologuing for.
I wouldn't say she was monologuing with the group ahead of us. They were into her.
Engaged.
They were super excited.
Yeah, they were into her monologue.
Yeah,
but she was really like, and then they'd be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Oh, but don't get me started on the Scorpios in the fall. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so, but you guys were enjoying her, and I was like, please, God, I just want to leave. And the funniest part was like, I'm like, please, I'm ready to go. I'm so tired. And then she was like, literally, she would be like putting my shirt into the bag so I can finally go. But she would be in the middle of her monologue, holding the shirt in one hand and the bag in the other. I'm like, put it in the bag.
I was having a great time.
Yeah,
with
Shannon
her.
and I had a good time.
I loved her.
The exchange ended exactly when I wanted it to. I made out like a bandit at that shop. That's
Yeah,
like
I got a cute bag.
Yeah,
She got like 4 shirts and 2 rings.
4 shirts, 2 rings.
Yeah, the ring he's wearing right now. Show the camera. It's gorgeous.
I got to give Jake props. The guy puts energy and attention toward fashion, and
makes me feel good.
It
Makes
looks
me feel good. Thank you.
It's a good.
Appreciate
Obviously,
that.
the same is true of you, Shannon. But you know, it's a little bit. You know, I don't know any other guys who are as into fashion as you, Jake.
I know a couple. I know a few,
Yeah.
but I would
Got
say
a great shirt on. Oh, this was the shirt he got.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels nice.
That's great.
Yeah, and I didn't really get into it heavy until I was like 25, 26 years old. And then I just realized like, oh, I like seeking out stuff that suits me really well. And and just keep it rolling.
I think what it is, I know like people, New Yorkers, and their thing is more like, I'm going to look very good and proper. And I like that you're into more eccentric stuff.
Yeah.
It's more interesting to me.
I like playing with colors. That's kind of the theme in everything I wear. I just like playing with color palettes, colorways, finding stuff that works, stuff that's like, ooh, add a little splash of this. That's why all my sunglasses are crazy colors, because I can just add them as an accent to any outfit.
Fashion's fun.
Guys, we have one heck of an ep for you today. I am so excited. It's going to be a hot one. Our second story, AITA for leaving my number on the bill. But first, here is Shannon with...
AITA for asking the guys in my bridal party to fly to Vegas twice for my bachelor party.
Nightmare.
I'm getting married and I've asked all of my long-term friends from high school and college to be my groomsmen. So these guys who I thought were my literal ride or dies, but now it seems like something as simple as my bachelor party is going to break up the friend group. The things I want to do are on Memorial Day weekend, which is Steve Aoki at Wed Republic, and the weekend after, which is a special once-in-a-lifetime event. But I have work in between, so I figured my friends would be cool with flying out twice. After all, it's Vegas. Who wouldn't love that? But when I asked, 10 out of 10 said I was being overly demanding and I needed to pick one event. 6 of them said it was a lot to ask to travel, and 2 said their kids and wives were more important than Steve Aoki on Memorial Day. I sent what I thought was a polite email telling them how we were friends, and doing stuff for friends is part of the pact we make. Just now, I received 8 responses ranging from just stop to I'm out of the bridal party, dude. I don't need to be guilted into a trip I don't even want to go to anyway. Am I being the asshole for this?
Well, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
Let's just work with what you're willingly telling us here. You want to fly to a city that, like, rule of thumb with Vegas, 2 to 3 nights. 2 to 3 nights.
Yeah, you can't do 2 weekends in a row.
The only other way to do it.
I can't even do 3 nights.
Because you're saying 2 to 3 days is like the perfect length to stay there.
Oh, yeah.
The other way you can do
nights.
it, and I've never done this, but I can understand how this is a way to do it, is if you do a full week, if you do like a full, like a Friday to a Tuesday of, the following week, 10 days or so. And you stay off strip for the middle week, and you stay at like a resort, someplace like a spa, someplace really chill. And you do all the surrounding stuff that Vegas has to offer. The supercar race tracks, the hiking, the off the party scene stuff. And you can spend 5 days relaxed, not worrying about the nightlife as much, and then you turn it up again when you get to the other weekends. If you're just doing the strip, do not try to push it past that 2 to 3 night strip. No. That city will chew you up and spit you out no matter how used to partying you are.
And also, bachelor parties are not, like if you were saying like a week long, like they cannot be that long. No. They're supposed to, I think originally they were only supposed to be a one night thing, and now they've turned into like weekend longs, which I think is great. Super fun. But you can't expect 2 weekends in a row to fly to Vegas. This is the most crazy demanding thing of a bridal party ever.
It's also like, I think that a key thing to these weekends, even if the party is about you, and this is a huge tenet for me when you're planning parties, it can be about you, but you have to make it appealing to everybody else involved.
Exactly.
And if this whole thing is, I really want to do these things, it's like, okay, Steve Aoki at Wed Republic, I know if I go to hell, that's what's waiting for me. But it doesn't sound like any of your friends were in that kind of space either. So you're already making a huge energy ask by dragging them into this very loud, very high energy, very draining social situation.
And very, very because I'm going to a bachelor party and we're going to Rockville. It's like a rock music festival. Okay. But like I think I even kind of can go harder on that, because it's like this is one artist, and it's like if you don't like Steve Aoki, like that's it. You're
tough.
what else are you gonna do? Like, you got to be there for 4 fucking hours, you know?
And I feel like you already know if you like Steve Aoki. Like, nobody's going to show up to that concert and be like, hey, this Aoki kid's got a nice sound.
Yeah. He spilled champagne all over. He's like a kind of a gimmicky.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like, this is a reach, but it's kind of like Gallagher of DJing. He like does a lot of gimmicky shit. Yeah, he's.
You just gave me such a clear picture of this.
Yeah.
My dad owns a restaurant.
You don't know, Gallagher famously would like smash watermelons during his comedies, like very
stand up.
Kind of. He's more of like a watermelon killer. I feel like it's like performance art.
But regardless of all that, even if they all like Steve Aoki, this is just a ridiculous ask.
Yeah, the second weekend is just like, you're really pushing it. And it kind of sounds like he was already going uphill here. He was swimming uphill, and then he was like...
One of these weekends would have been. And Memorial Day, Vegas, that is insane upcharges on everything.
Yeah.
Flights are more expensive. Hotels are more expensive. Everything is upcharged.
And I mean, I see, like, they're, you know, it seems like they want to spend time with their kids and their wives when they have a 3-day weekend. A lot of times people want to like spend a 3-day weekend how they want to spend it, and then you make it about your wedding or your bachelorette, and you're like, oh, now I got to do this. We only get so many a year.
And I think they're getting a little catty because like he's coming at them. He's really trying to indulge this and being a little bit condescending too. Instead of being like, guys, I just really want this. Can we make an exception? He's like, this is just part of the pat we made. Part of the
you were my little ride or dies, bro.
Homies. I have 2 reads here. Number 1, whenever somebody writes what I thought was a very polite email. No, it wasn't. You were a dick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very confident that you were an absolute, but it's my bachelor party. That's the vibe I'm getting from your email.
He's giving Groomzilla.
It's Groomzilla for sure. My second read here, this is the least popular member of the friend group.
Yeah,
this dude was already on the verge of getting kicked out of the group thread. They probably have a group thread without him in it already.
Yep.
I think that's a fair read. He seems super obnoxious. I also think another dynamic here, because I think we're all obviously on the same page that asking for 2 weekends in a row is like, look, I mean, I do think it's okay to ask, but I think the way he's doing it, and this is where I'm going with this, is like when people address a group of people, they can say things that would never, like in an individual context, would be like very obviously ridiculous. Cause like, and so there's like a dehumanizing aspect or like a lack of common sense that can come with an address like that.
You should have known off jump. You should have known the 2 weekend thing is not going to happen. Just any sensible, reasonable adult should have known that. So you can put it out there. But if you want everybody to have a better attitude going into this, creating choice, creating options is a great way to make everybody more excited about something like this.
So like maybe being like the main one is Memorial Day weekend, but I'm going to go back for the next weekend if anyone wants to hop on because there's this special event that I really want to go to.
That's one way to do it. I would have taken, if you wanted this to be the bachelor party weekend and you were willing to, like, you know, if you were willing to go back on your own without this, I would maybe float it out to the guys of like, oh, also I'm going this other weekend, but I would let your friends vote who wants to go to this, who wants to go to this. And then, or let your guys pick which weekend they want to go to if you're going to go to both anyway.
That's good. And then he can whatever. And I was going to say, just calling someone individually, I was like, well, you're probably not going to be able to rally the whole crew, but if you call one person and be like, come on, man, you one time spilled champagne, maybe you like it.
And also it is like so much more fun when it's like a little bit of a smaller group. When it gets to be like 10 plus people, you're kind of like, oh geez, it's like so hard to get reservations.
Everything's
anywhere.
a production.
I've never hung out with
Bill splits with 10 people. No. 5, that's a great point, Shannon. You're mobile. You can make changes on the fly easily. It's way easier to find stuff of like, hey, I have a group of 5 or 6 compared to like, I have 12. Yeah. I have 12 whole people.
And guys, all guys in Vegas, you can't do anything.
You're not getting it anywhere.
When my girlfriends and I would go to Vegas in college, like we wouldn't spend a dime
Yeah, because you're why people spend money in Vegas. So
Yeah,
they want you
exactly.
in there.
This one time we walked down off of the elevators and like immediately just got into a limo because these guys were like, "Do you just want to come in this limo?" We're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
well,
we like walked right in.
That can actually, you guys lucked out because that can actually be a scam. What they do is they'll be like, "Hey, free ride, we'll take you here," and then they take you to this place, and you get out and you look around and you realize like, I'm not near anything. I'm not near any public transportation. Oh, you need a ride back? We're going to charge you for the ride back.
What a dirty Vegas graft. I think this one's a no-brainer, but the plot thickens, folks. So this guy kept replying on Reddit. He's arguing with people. You might be wondering, what was this second event? What is this other thing?
I'm so glad you asked, Danny. Because Sarah sent this to you. I also sent this. Now, this isn't our usual amount of, receipts that we have because this is off of Unreddit. This is a lot of deleted comments.
It was written up in the Daily Dot. That's how we got these
There we
things.
go.
This is a banger.
Yeah. So, there's so many places to start with the mystery
He
here.
wanted to go to meet up with an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
And this is someone that he supports on there. And it was a $400 cover.
A head. Per person.
Per person.
$400.
And he was expecting them to pay for him.
Yes, they wanted him to cover his charge and then also pay to get in themselves.
Yeah.
So this is very much the specialist birthday boy on the planet, and it's also his bachelor party. He didn't share that in the initial post because he knew that if his fiance found out about it, she would have a problem with it. Gee, I wonder why. The OnlyFans performer that I send money to every month
probably doesn't know he has a subscription either.
Most likely. And Danny, do you want to take it from here?
Oh, I just think you guys aren't considering the fact that, quote from OP, "I can't pass up the opportunity to meet her. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And plus, there'll be other dancers for my friends, so no, it's not just for
bro.
me." Somebody writes,
Once in a lifetime opportunity to meet her. Oh.
Do you think that this is like, I paid the $400, now I have alone time with her? No, there's an army of simps waiting for her.
Shannon, the huge light bulb is floating over Shannon's head.
$400 a pop. What am I doing here?
Someone just replied, "She's not going to fuck you." And he's just going off in the comments. So people are like, "Well, what actually happened?" He's like, "Okay, well, it's like not cheating." So he says, quote, "To me, that means lap dances or dirty texting. That's a long way."
Dirty texting? How would that happen?
Hell.
He's saying it's
may I
not
text
cheating.
Yeah, by just like asking her for a number.
No,
he thinks he's gonna get her number.
No, you're misunderstanding.
Okay.
He's saying what he's doing isn't cheating.
I see.
That's a long way from sleeping with someone.
No, I know, but where does he think he's gonna be getting dirty texts from?
I think
her?
he's saying.
Well, he pays for OnlyFans. That's part of it. You can DM on the OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
The alien writes, "But it's still cheating. Let's ask this. Would you be okay if your future wife was doing the same with hotter and more fit male strippers or OnlyFans users?" And brace for this. This is definitely a top 5 worst quotes from Andy OP. He writes, by the way, his handle is bro getting married. "No, but the quote unquote penetration and quote unquote submissive part of sex for women makes it much worse when they cheat."
And there it is.
What?
Disgusting.
They are who we thought they were. One of my favorite quotes in all of sports. They are who we thought they were.
I like that.
And also, by the way, I just want to say nothing against OnlyFans. Like,
no,
and the people that do it. Like, I have friends that do it. I
Great
think
service.
It's great. I'm just more being disgusted by this man's behavior. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, there'd be no problem if he was just going to
if
her
he was just
thing.
a single guy, but he's going behind his wife's back or his fiance's back.
First time I heard of OnlyFans, I was just like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Hell
that
yeah.
makes a
and
great
it's
way
so
to make a
much
buck.
safer for sex workers.
Get it if you can.
Yeah.
Yep. So this guy, it got even worse. We couldn't find documentation here, but Jake, you were saying you saw that somehow his LinkedIn.
He disclosed what he does for a living in the comments section and where he lives, because somebody asked, you're flying to Vegas, where do you live? Because we had that thought too of like, well, maybe it's
LA.
Phoenix or
Taos, New
LA.
Mexico.
Nope, Central Pennsylvania. This guy and his friends
So we're talking
live
like a
in.
4 or 5 hour flight
This-
that he's expecting them to go back and forth, and time zones, by the way.
Everybody compiled here. We're talking about a 25K plus weekend if you factor in both. Like, and I think we're being conservative with that estimate for the cost of 10 people doing this. collectively. I think that's really cheap.
So astronomical.
So as a result of that, this dum-dum wound up getting himself doxxed because
Self-doxing.
how stupid do you have to be to say, I do this for a living and I live here? People were able to find his fucking LinkedIn, which is what you get for being on LinkedIn, you sociopath. But you're fucking crazy. So as a result, his wife, or fiance, not his wife now, found out about this and did in fact call off the wedding.
Busting.
I also wouldn't be shocked if some of the bridal part or the groom's party to be might have tipped her off to this as well.
Well,
That's
they also
fully possible.
like probably the groomsmen were like, I don't even want to get into this weird situation where I'm going to an OnlyFans thing. Like, I'm married, whatever. Not to say that your wife can't be okay with it, but I feel like you're so spot on with like, this is the friend that they are just like rolling their eyes at all the time.
And now that we're talking about it, actually, every groom's party, especially a big one like 10 plus people, there's always at least one person who's in that mix that's like cousin Jeff, or somebody that's just kind of on the outside of it. That guy's just like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't want to say yes in the first place. Get me out of this.
AITA for asking the guys in my bridal party to fly to Vegas twice for my bachelor party. This is like a nuclear YTA.
Tremendous.
I mean, he paid.
Yeah.
He did pay for his sins quite dearly.
Oh, yeah.
All's well that ends well. Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. And I've been meaning to say this, by the way. We have a bonus pack that I give out whenever people ask for episodes and they don't want to pay for the Patreon, or they're in a situation where they can't, and DM me on Instagram. And I'd love to send that over to anybody who wants a little sampler.
Yeah, we'll give you a little taste of what the boneyard is all about.
10 Shake and Janin, Jake and Shannon, Dan and Shake, whatever they're called, and then 10 other episodes with Sarah. Some of the classics,
Sarah,
people.
we gotta love her.
Join us. All right, guys, here we go. AITA. For leaving my number on the bill. I, 26M, went out for dinner last night with a few friends. We were at this pretty nice restaurant, and our waitress, female, early 20s, caught my eye as soon as we sat down. I thought she was cute and had a great sense of style. Her outfit was really unique and just seemed to suit her perfectly. Anyway, throughout the night, she was really friendly and attentive, and I couldn't help but keep noticing her. After a while, I decided to go for it and compliment her on her outfit. I said something like, "Hey, I just wanted to say that you look really cute tonight, and your outfit is amazing. It suits you so well." She seemed to take the compliment well, smiling and thanking me. Later on, as we were finishing up our meal, I decided to write my number on the receipt and leave it for her, just in case she was interested in talking more or even going on a date. When I handed her the receipt, I told her, quote, "I hope this isn't too forward, but I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight and thought you might like to get in touch if you're interested." She took the receipt and thanked me, but I noticed her smile seemed a bit forced. I figured maybe she wasn't interested, and that was fine. I don't want to push her or make her feel uncomfortable. After we left the restaurant, my friends told me that what I did was inappropriate and that I shouldn't have put her on the spot like that at her workplace. They said it's not okay to hit on service workers who are just trying to do their job. I didn't mean any harm, and I thought I was being polite and respectful about it. AITA.
Well, if you all remember a few episodes back or a couple months back or something, we were talking about when Danny, we were saying one of the great ways to give someone your number is by like writing it on the bill if it's your server. And so we thought that was kind of a cute thing.
Yeah, and I liked that there's a little, a switch up here because he does that, but then he hands her the receipt. So where I thought we might get somewhere interesting is that Shannon, you didn't seem to have an issue with this, and you work in this capacity now, even, right? You do events every now and again, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be bothered by this.
No, I would be extremely flattered. I did this to somebody like years ago, and I was working an event, and we had like raffle tickets. And so I thought this guy was really cute. And so I like wrote my name on a raffle ticket, and I was like, oh, here, you dropped this, because everyone had raffle tickets. And then he like saw, you know, and he was like, oh, he ended up being married.
But you see what you did there? You kept mystery involved.
I like that one way more.
Here's the problem with this guy. And I'm kind of with Shannon. I don't think there's anything wrong with people shooting their shot.
Yeah.
I don't think he crossed any lines. I don't think he got inappropriate. But here's where he fucked up. He took 3 swings at this. He made his intentions. He made his intentions clear 3 times. The compliment, the secondary compliment, and then the take this if you wanted to get in touch with me.
Yeah, he should have just left his name.
He's hard selling. This is desperation sales. This is car salesman stuff where you keep coming, you keep calling, and he's not being pushy, but he's doing too much. I think that's the good way of phrasing this.
I think it's not attractive, and it was interesting. Whenever Shannon said that story, I was like, oh, that would be like hot,
very
like,
flirty, very mysterious.
Yeah, it's like cute.
Even if you just have a little tete-a-tete, a little repartee, and you don't say anything on the way out, but you leave your number, way more attractive.
And also, it's like exhilarating too. Like I was terrified to do that, but I was like, I'm just gonna put myself out of my comfort zone, and I was so scared. But yeah, there's like a rush, and I think like when you get somewhere and they leave your number, whatever, like you get a rush too. Like I feel like I'm on like cloud 9 all night. I feel like you still got it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've obviously been down these roads quite a time, I guess. So the friends, you know, are saying you're hitting on a service worker. I do think in a lot of capacities that's kind of like not okay ever.
Gotta be very careful about it.
Like a barista, you know, it's just like, and it really does. I think maybe another reason people don't like it is because like it is, especially like a barista, right? Like you literally said like, I'll get drink. And then Jay said, okay, like there's not a lot of conversation there.
Right.
It's kind of like, yeah, you think she's hot, dog. Like this isn't made of much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of time. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think where it doesn't quite get into inappropriate territory. I think he fucked up, and I think it's kind of cringy how he approached this.
Ooh,
I think it's cringy.
Cringe.
But I think that where the real, like if he had been very focused on her looks and was giving very physically, commenting on her physical appearance,
you look really cute
lot,
tonight.
Which
he was talking about her outfit. It's a little different.
If he had said like, wow, your body is banging in them pants, then now we're into bad. Now it's rough. He does flirt with the line. I think he's on the line a little bit here. I think he's close to being over it. But I am kind of with the friends that if it wasn't so cringy, if it wasn't such a bad attempt, it would have been fine. But he made the mistake of he did too much. Less is more, and he should have let the chemistry speak for itself. But he didn't.
Getting hit on at work, I feel like, is kind of the same as like getting hit on at the gym. Like I can just speak for most women. Like we just don't like it. Yeah. Like, just leave us alone. Like we're working or we're working out. We're just trying to do our thing.
That was like a little poem. Hey, AITA for leaving my number on the bill. I think we are lined up here that the reaction from the friends came from this being a cringer.
Yeah.
And I don't really think it was asshole-ish.
No.
I think you should always err on the side of subtlety and mystery because it's attractive, but also you don't want to make someone uncomfortable and like
and I don't think she did. I mean, I don't think he made her uncomfortable. It was kind of like she probably was like, oh, well, I'm not interested, and like I was just being overly friendly with you because I wanted a nice tip, honey.
You were cringy Cornelius, and it really put everybody into a rough mood.
Okay, can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
Can Biden talk about cringiness?
What we have in this country right now, we have people who they're too confident for their own good, and they're taking swings where they should be lending a helping hand to their neighbor. They should be saying, hey, do you have any sugar over there? Do you need some? And instead they're complimenting outfits, and they're saying they're writing their number down on a piece of paper, and they take the paper and they hand it and they say, hey, I wrote my number on the paper. You don't need to say that. It's too much. Just hand them the paper. It's a beautiful thing you can do in this country.
And you think it's cringe?
I think it's cringe.
That's what I wanted.
I think it's cringe.
That's what I wanted so bad.
There you go.
I think we're lined up. Hey, leave my number on the bill. We agree. No assholes here.
No assholes here.
No assholes here.
Do less.
Guys, please, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We got over 150 wonderful bonus episodes. We will see you on Patreon, baby. You can Discord me immediately and say, Danny, fuck
Hey,
you.
your hat.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Hey, I like it. All right, we're going to wrap up. AITA for saying where whenever someone says Jesus Christ at my job. I-21, non-binary, work as a cashier at a supermarket. My manager, 27F, says Jesus Christ whenever she gets frustrated. And after a few weeks of that, I started responding with, where? I make a show of it, open my eyes really wide, look around quickly. She gets a kick out of it. And it's sort of our thing now. I do the same with other coworkers and managers, but my one coworker, 17F, got annoyed with it, and I guess it's been building up for a while since she finally snapped at me the other day. She said, stop doing that. That's so annoying. I responded with, okay, sorry. I won't do it with you. She says, no, stop doing it, period. I can hear you every time you do it, and it's super annoying. I backed away from her after that and only planned on not doing it with her, but now that I've had time to think, maybe I should stop doing it altogether. AITA.
This is a good bit.
I love it.
This is
I haven't heard this.
Bit.
You would think, like, I've heard, obviously everyone always does all the Jesus Christ God bits, but I've never heard this where. It's a one word
really
punchline.
solid,
Oh,
yeah.
So beautiful.
And I think workplaces, there is it's the right place to do those bits where you do something one too many times and it stops being funny, but then you
comes
do
back
it
around.
one too many times and it's funny again.
And it's key that it's reactive, right?
Yep.
Because in a way, you're calling out the other employees always saying Jesus Christ. It's like, I can see this being fun. It's a little fun little bit.
And I think the older people who are working here, they're appreciating that humor a little bit more because there is a nice commentary in the repetitiveness of the working day. That's where inside jokes come from in offices, is the repetition of it. I think that the person who's offended here, I don't think that they are ready for the level of dad joke that they need to get used to in the working world. This is something that you're going to be putting up with your whole life, and you can either get on board or you can just be annoyed.
Yeah, and also it's like your coworker, like she's just kind of being pretty demanding and being like, no, just stop doing it, period. Like, I don't know, that seems not very diplomatic in the workplace.
She, like, if she had said, here's the thing, she really has no case. I guess she just doesn't like the bit, but I'm like, God, it's a one word bit, like, And
you're the only person in the workplace. If it was annoying, this is the kind of thing where when people are, I've been in places where people are genuinely annoyed by a bit like this. When somebody finally pipes up about it, everybody backs them up. Just like, yep, you gotta stop. It's driving me nuts. Please knock it off. That did not happen here.
Yeah.
It's one person who's annoyed by the bit. I think that, I don't know. I think it's funny. I don't think it's harming anybody. And clearly all of your coworkers think it's great, except for this one.
I guess people are saying Jesus Christ a lot at this workplace. Because it's enough that he or they like can say the joke that much that it's annoying their coworker. Yeah. They like Jesus Christ. They're saying Jesus Christ a lot.
Why?
They do.
Guy who doesn't understand the bit.
They do. It would behoove them to figure out a way to heighten this at this point. How do you take this?
Now we're getting into comedy.
How do you take it higher? It's.
I tried why. I think it kind of bombed.
Yeah.
Who, what, when, where, why. Oh, when?
No.
It needs to evolve.
Yeah, you gotta, and that's not for us to figure out. It's your bit. It's your bit. You are going to be able to grow that.
What about, like, isn't there like a little Catholic poem of some kind? It's like Jesus Christ, God the Father.
Catholics don't believe in poetry.
Catholics don't believe in. Nah, it's not real.
No.
I was going to say the one angle here would be like, oh, I find that offensive. But I would be like, well, actually, the person being offensive is the one saying the Lord's name in vain.
That's true.
Very true.
I think this is a 17-year-old person, and fuck her. So you don't like the bit. Fuck you. Like, you're just mad at a one-word bit. It's not that big of a deal.
It's 1 against 12. Sorry to tell you.
Are they apostles here?
Majority rules. I'm guessing 12.
I understand then, like, being self-conscious about it, though, like, as the OP, because the OP is kind of like, well, maybe should I just stop doing it altogether? Because it's kind of like, well, now you, like, ruined the bit. It's not really fun to do anymore.
They're 21, and when you get snapped at work at 21, it can kind of throw you off your balance a little bit.
Scary.
But yeah, even if it is coming, actually, it's terrifying. I remember how scary teenagers suddenly were when I got into my 20s of like, oh no, I'm getting old and you're young and you've got all like the time. Oh no. So I could see why the opinion of a younger coworker in this situation might carry more weight for you, but I think you got a good bit. I think maybe grow it a little bit, but clearly your coworkers are enjoying it. I say keep on keeping on. Let the 17-year-old learn, like, hey, jobs suck, and we got to do a little bit every day to make them suck a little bit less.
And someone making a joke like that is like the fucking minorest problem. This is not a problem at work of all the bullshit that happens. AITA for saying where whenever someone says Jesus Christ at my job. I think we agree it's ooh, am I ready to call her an asshole? Yes, I am, because she just said stop doing that.
You're being annoying.
If she had said, you know, I know everybody has a good time laughing at this Jesus Christ joke, but like, I just feel very irritated when I hear it because I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's clean. I mean, that's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think the 17-year-old is really grasping how much it's going to bum out the workplace when this thing that everybody's gotten used
The
to.
Jesus Christ bit was holding this place together.
Now when somebody says Jesus Christ next and nobody says where, everybody's going to be like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
It's no longer it was. This is a bullshit job.
Yeah.
So we're saying AITA for saying where whenever someone says Jesus Christ on my job, we're saying
NTA,
and she is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no assholes here because she's 17. She's learning how jobs work, so I'm gonna give her a pass. I'm saying no assholes here.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up here on a small one. AITA for telling my autistic brother that he is most likely being catfished. I, 19F, have a brother, 17M, who dates a lot of girls online. Most of the time, they only message using Discord. Sometimes they'll voice chat or FaceTime, but it's rare and it's always sketchy. The girl is never able to show her face or for some reason makes excuses to not talk on the phone. I would say 10 to 11 girlfriends in the past year. All very short-lived. He's my brother and I care about him. I don't want him to get catfished. I think I'm being a good sister by warning him. He's upset because he has no friends and this is his only relationship. I express that I know it's hard, but you are being tricked. It sucks. AITA.
I had to do this with my dad once.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah.
I had to explain the concept of catfishing to him, and he was like, I've actually never, out of as long as our relationship lasted, he was about to bull up, which I was used to, and then he realized that it made a lot of sense. But it was right when he got onto Facebook, and he was bragging to me about the ladies he was talking to, and I didn't challenge it immediately. I let him set up the information in a row for me of like, yeah, does she have like 2 or 3 pictures exclusively and they're all like face specific? Yeah. And it's like, does she kind of speak in like really non-specific terms and doesn't really ask a ton about you? And
is she insanely out of your league? Never happened.
I set that up like 4 or 5 things. Like, yeah, Dad, you're an older dude. You're getting catfish. Like that's what that is.
Like
and
young too?
Not absurd. Not to the point where it's like
alarming.
Duh, you fucking dummy. But it was one of those of just like, I don't think that this person is real, Pops, that kind of thing. And it made enough sense that he didn't give me a ton of pushback, which I was not used to with him. That like I was ready for a fight, but it was just one of those like I was in the position where OP was, where it's just like I'm not letting you fucking send $5,000 to some random person who's not real.
Yeah.
So. I'm telling you, I've done what you've had to do here. Your situation's way more complicated because you're not talking to your, senior citizen father that knows better.
Well, she did say that. So she says sometimes they will voice chat or FaceTime. She does say it's rare and always sketchy, but I'm wondering what the FaceTimes are
they
like.
Have ways of doing it.
It'll be like a clip.
Like a filter.
Yeah.
It'll be like a clip of somebody like, oh, I can't hear you. The signal's breaking out, and then it cuts nuts
Oh my God,
away.
who are they getting to do that?
I mean,
They rip it. They find a webcam footage, someone else, and they just play it. I mean,
if you ever want a really sad story, look up the story of Manti Te'o from Notre Dame.
yeah.
He was a vaunted, highly recruited football prospect
player.
out of Notre Dame, and it came out that he was getting catfished for like 2 years just before the NFL draft, and it absolutely tanked his draft stock because it brought into question his ability to
became
do
a
critical
laughing
thinking.
stock.
There's a great documentary that's very, very redemptive to him. It was
Yeah.
coming from a place
They interview the person that was
who
doing it, and they're trans now, but at the time they were a boy.
Really, really complicated
a
story.
lot of complicated, and I think this situation is a little complicated, but I would say what this is looking like to me is just like a unhealthy kind of coping mechanism, and we've talked about this before. When people are catfished, sometimes they on some level do know. They're choosing not to know, in a sense, self-delusion. I think the fact that the brother is not neurotypical is also something to reckon with here, but for me, reading it as it lays, and from what I know, I'm like, look, you were honest with your brother. You're trying to help him out. I think OP maybe just try to help him build some healthy relationships. Like, he could join the Discord of AITA.
Okay. Let's gear that back a little bit.
Let's see, what other ideas?
Well, this listener is already a Patreon, so get him on the Patreon too.
Yeah. No, but I think facilitating that and maybe try to frame it in a more positive way, and maybe helping with your own relationship could be a really, really good way to go here. Nonetheless, I think we're all aligned. AITA for telling my autistic brother that he is most likely being catfished. No assholes here. Well, I guess the catfisher.
Well, yeah.
Well, they're not really involved here. They're in Russia working at a bot farm.
Yeah. Thanks for the submission, OP. And guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.